Listen to that hum. Doesn't it sound like breathing? May I invite us on a little journey? If we feel comfortable, let's close our eyes and listen to the hum. This beloved hum that's been accompanying us throughout this gathering. This beloved hum that has been interweaving all the words and ideas of our common being shared over the course of this gathering. And as we listen to that beloved hum, with every breath we take, let us breathe in the hum as the aliveness of the world's interconnected knowledge being accessed by millions of sovereign and agentic intelligences. And breathe out the grounding through our feet into the aliveness of land, the living earth, the world's living being, the interconnectedness of life. Let us breathe in the love and care for this flow of knowledge that the people of this institution stood around us, the Internet Archive. And breathe out as people of the institution of the commons, a love and care for the gathering and sharing of that knowledge with as many minds as possible. Let us breathe in, acknowledging the love and care for this land, the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush, who are the original inhabitants of this San Francisco Peninsula, who, as the indigenous stewards of this land, in accordance with their traditions, have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as the caretakers of this land, as well as for all peoples who reside in their traditional territory. As guests, let us breathe in recognition that we benefit from living and working on their traditional homeland, and breathe out our respects by acknowledging the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush community, and by affirming their sovereign rights as First Peoples. Let us breathe in, listening to the beloved hum of that interconnected knowledge, that interconnected focusing of care, and breathe out, listening to the beloved hum of our collective focus on those responsibilities never ceded, lost, nor forgotten as caretakers for the interconnection of knowledge, for the interbeing of intelligence, for listening to the intersubjectivity of land and all her beings. And now let's open our eyes again. This is the earth, breathing in and breathing out. Ecoweaving is an invitation to this practice of breathing the same air together. It is an invitation to the practice of a new and ancient form of diplomacy, of how we listen for the interbeing of intelligence and care for the homes we share, how we connect and pattern threads across our oikos, our networks, institutions, watersheds, and communities, in service of the flow of this breath in ecological flourishing, cross-pollination, collaboration, and collective sense-making. It is how we weave relationships and earth kinships that nourish and deepen over time through practices of mutual regard, attunement, ritual, and resonance, gathering, storying, retooling, and channeling in small sovereign groups, in values-aligned, mutually defined contexts, regeneratively co-living and collaborating, coexisting and hyperstitioning among these times of figuring. And in listening for and practicing this weaving and kinship, I'm here today to offer a few semantic crystals and flows. I cannot promise that they'll all make rational sense, but I offer them as a window into a dream. If I may introduce and relate myself to this beautiful context, this gathering of commons-lined minds and souls, I call home, co-live, and regenerate with and amongst the world and the land and the hills and the healing waters and the forests, alongside our embassy network family in San Francisco, and at Wilbur Hot Springs, at Fatopia in France, and in the Mangaroa Valley in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I learnt in Te Reo Maori, the language of the indigenous Maori peoples of Aotearoa, New Zealand, that the word for love, aroha, means literally focused breath. On our last journey to visit the Amazon Sacred Headwaters Alliance, we were entering the village of Manari Oshigwa, spiritual and political leader of the Sapara Nation, as ethnographer Eduardo Cohen, author of How Forests Think, was leaving, and he passed on to us this semantic crystal to dream on as we considered the pattern and shape of a life-affirming economy. Samay, he said, used as a word to refer to the Runa people's concepts of time and space, emphasizing the interconnectedness and relational nature of all beings within the forest ecosystem. A semantic crystal that shares a node with aroha, breath. Qi, the Chinese word for life force, also shares that node, breath. I go by Tony. The name my Chinese parents gave me is Li Jia Hao, which can mean pure voice of the family of the soil. And I've always been fascinated by the many diverse semantic crystals, stories, belief systems, rituals, and relationships that shape our shared realities, as well as what lies between those. And so I haven't left much time to talk about the beloved, which was what I wanted to go into with you. But the pieces that are what I wish to unfurl with my family, with community, is this sense that there is an intimacy in terms of how we can refer to this in-between space. And for that to be a space where we can nurture the kinds of beloved intelligence that can lead to the community intelligences that will help us self-govern our commons, can be based upon all of the legal IP tools for collaboration that we'll be digging into at Stanford Codex and with Radical Exchange and the AI Objectives Institute and other wonderful, wonderful groups, and exploring as part of citizens' assembly processes, representing ecological entities in these democratic participation mechanisms. And we can hyperstition futures where even these interbeing agencies have dignified dynamics that we flow and respond as part of. And so my time's up, but I'm very grateful to be weaving with you all in these beloved and collective community intelligences. And I want to thank you all for weaving together these beautiful dreams of the commons. Thank you very much.